Today we're going to be talking about mass airflow sensors, and I don't mean my nose after Taco Tuesday in the Richard house. All right, so first things first, fire up HP Tuners, the DCM editor, and do a read on the vehicle because you want to create an as found. So I pretty much do that every time, and the reason why is because just in case things get mixed up, right? So it's possible you overwrite something or whatever. It just takes a couple of minutes. I'm going to initiate the screen recording somehow. As soon as I capture DCM editor, start recording. Okay. So we're recording the screen. The times when I'm not saying stuff, I'll like fast forward it. So with the magic of editing. Again, like I said in the last video, you got to make sure that like when you're doing this, no, you don't accidentally shut accessory mode off. Your battery doesn't die. Make sure you don't unplug anything and don't have anybody open up the window or open up the doors on the car. It could block your ECM and your TCM, rendering it pretty much inoperable. Essentially turns it into a paperweight. So make sure that when you're ready to write that you don't need to piss. You're not going to have to get out of the car to, go to the washroom or whatever. Like pretty much like if the house is on fire, you should probably still let it write before, you get out. It only takes a minute. Okay, so I already created an as found in here. I'm just going to overwrite it. So there you go. All said and done. All right, so see if I remember how to do this correctly. I am not going to go through the reasons why, like everything that you got to do. I'm just going to go ahead and do it. I can explain very briefly, essentially, what I'm doing. But to be honest with you, all the science behind it, I'm not 100% sure. So the first thing that we're going to want to do, because we're going to be tuning MAF today, is I'm going to click on my engine, airflow, dynamic. So I want to disable dynamic airflow, which is your speed density. So I am going to, if I cursor over this, it'll say dynamic airflow high RPM disable. Above this, use filtered air mass for mass predictions. So I will go 1. And on this, high RPM re-enable. RPM must drop below this to re-enable air mass prediction calculations. So I will set that to 8,000. I am just going to double check that this is right. I do have notes, because I might have that backwards. 108,000. Yeah, so that was right. All right, the next is you go into fuel, and you're going to go into your oxygen sensors. We want to turn on your O2 readiness, ETC, engine temperature. I want this. So if you see closed loop O2 ready ECT versus startup coolant, below this coolant temp, the O2 readiness test will not run. So I want that to be, I don't want it to run, okay? So I'm going to switch that to 400 degrees. and equal. So I'll switch that whole table to 400 degrees. And then I want to turn off my long-term fuel trims. So the minimum learn disabled below this engine coolant temperature. So I will go 400, and learn is disabled above this engine coolant temperature. So we'll say 399. All right. So there, everything is ready for me to start tuning math. So what I'm going to do today, just to show you guys kind of roughly, is I'm going to write this tune, and I'm going to pull I'll pull 15% fuel, just so you can see. So I'm going to write this all at one time, okay? So I'm going to go to airflow. Sorry, where am I going here? Yeah, airflow dynamic, or general, and then airflow versus frequency for your math calibration, okay? And I'm going to highlight everything, and I am going to, so to subtract 15% fuel, I would multiply everything in here by 0.85. And then I'll multiply. Let's do, you know what? I'm going to go back. So you can always do the undo. I don't want to pull that much fuel. I want to pull, let's say 0.9. So I'm going to pull 10% fuel. Okay. Okay, so we'll go with that. All right, so now I will write the vehicle. So I'm still in auxiliary mode. So I'm going to write. Before I do that, I'm going to shut it off. And then I'm going to turn it back on, just in case auxiliary wants to kick out. So there. I didn't need to write TCM. That was just oversight. So it'll actually go a lot quicker if you only write what you're tuning. So at the top of the screen it says E38 ECM, right calibration. I could have wrote right calibration. And then where it says hardware T43 TCM, GMA6, that's the transmission control module. I could have set that to do not write, and then this would have taken about half the time, but you know, we can fast forward. All right, so once this is written, I'm going to shut accessory mode off. I got to get out of the car and open up the garage door because, you know, most days I like being alive. So I'm not going to run a car with no cats inside a garage with all the doors shut. There, right, completed. Okay, so accessory mode off. I'm going to park the laptop here for a second. I will open up the VCM scanner. Okay, so now I'm going to start the car. Before you actually start to record with HP tuners, you got to make sure that your wideband, the heater it's gone through its cycle. If I start it up now, it's going to give me all kinds of crazy readings. So I should be running lean right now. So we'll see what it looks like once this comes on. Okay, so wideband is on. I'm running what I was running the other day. So because I didn't reset my long-term fuel trims, it's going to take a while. You'll see. you can see it'll slowly start to creep up because it's auto calibrating. So there's stoichiometric right there. It's looking pretty good right now, but I know it's gonna go high. It's just gonna take a minute. See? So all I did there was I just stopped scanning and then started a new scan. You can see it's going lean, right? So now, unfortunately, you know, because it's winter time here, it's pretty cold out. There's lots of salt and snow on the road. I can't take the car out and MAF tune it right now. I'm just pretty much tuning just the bottom end of the MAF, but I can give it a little bit of gas there and rev it up just a bit. All right, so you can see here that it's lean, right? So there's two ways you can go about this now. You can, it showed a bunch of rich there because I shut the car off before I stopped the scanner. Ignore that. Always shut the scanner off before you shut the car off. I'm not gonna use this for tuning right now, and that's why it doesn't matter. But if you were going to tune, like actually tune the car, bring it out, drive it, test it out, whatever, dial in your MAF, you'd copy this, you'd go over to your VCM editor, you'd go into your airflow, you'd go there, paste special, multiply by percent, minus half. So that'll get you close. So what that'll do is, hold on a second, let's see here. So that'll get you close to where you need to be in terms of fueling for those areas that you were off. I don't want to do that. I want to put the whole car, the entire the whole MAF table, I want that entire MAF table to be rich. So I know that it was, I'll go like this. I know that I was about 3.6 at the beginning. So I'll just see what this does. That's, yeah, that's a little too much, I think. So we'll try this. I'm just going back to what I had because I had this dialed in already. So that looks about good. It might change, like 1.2 doesn't change much on the bottom end because it brings you from 3.6 to 3.7 when you go from 1.12 to 1.15. But on the top end up here, when we're talking 16,000, 0.3% or 0.03% is a lot, So just keep that in mind. Okay, so there. Now the entire MAF table, all red, means that we've made changes. So I am going to close this, and I am going to flip on my accessory mode. I'm going to click right vehicle, turn off the transmission calibration this time. See, do not write. And then I'm going to click right, and it's going to say interface not found. And then I'm going to go, and then have to unplug it all and plug it back in. See? So, unplugged from the OBD2, unplugged from your USB, OBD2 back in, plug your USB back in, it goes there. Now it'll work. And again, I should have adjusted the long-term fuel trims to get it to read, but that's it's not that important. It just saves you a bit of time. Here, write completed. I will open up my VCM scanner. I'm going to close this log file, start the car. If you guys are interested in learning how to use this program and learning it thoroughly, like, I'm not the guy. I'm the guy who's going to show you quick how to do this. Like in this 15-minute video or whatever it is going to be, at the end you will be able to tune your car, the fuel trims on your car, following this method, right? If you really want to learn all about this program, you know, I suggest get on HP Tuners, read the forums. Goat Rope Garage on YouTube here, phenomenal. Mechatronics, that's Mechatronics, wicked dude, super informative. They got lots of interesting information. Goat Rope's a little bit more entertaining. Mechatronics is he's got a lot of good information, kind of a little bit dry sometimes, but so there you go. We have we're starting to read again. I let it come back down before I turn it on, just so I didn't have to reset it. But as you can see, we're just below stoichiometric. So 0.991. No, bouncing back and forth a little bit. That's like pretty good. So as you can see, big difference. So success. All right, so I'm gonna leave that like that. Again, should have shut this off first, but I'm not tuning anymore, so I'm gonna leave that like that until the snow melts. I'll take the car out, I'm gonna drive the shit out of it, drive it all around. Make sure when you're math tuning, slow, deliberate throttle. You don't want to give it a quick shot. Slow and deliberate, so you can go wide open throttle, but make sure you take your time easing into it. Go uphill, downhill, all kinds of stuff like that. Flat ground, third gear works good if you can find some room to run. But there you have it. So that's math tuning. So one thing that we have to do now is we just got to put everything back to the way we had it, and then right the vehicle. So we need to turn everything back on. So this tune has changed. What I'm going to do is I'm going to save this as math tuned 1. There. Okay, so now what I'll do is I will open up a compare file. I'll click on this one here. So this will show that has changed. I'm going to go to this here, dynamic airflow, and I'm going to show the compare file. So that was 4,000 and 3,900. So 4,000, 3,900. That seems wrong. No, it's right. I thought I was wrong, but I was mistaken. And then fuel, oxygen sensors. We need to turn our O2 readiness back on. So this was, I remember what this was -40. And then we're going to equal. Nope, yeah, we do the whole thing. Equal. So that's done. And then we're going to turn on our long-term fuel trims, and that was 95 and 284. So 95, 284. And then we will, I don't know if there's a way to just close the compare file, but that's all we got to do for here. So I will write that, and then we're done. Again, as always, thank you very much for coming by. Please give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. It would mean an astronomical amount to me. I really would really appreciate that. And yeah, there's going to be more videos to come, so make sure you ring the bell, and we'll see you soon.
Right there, over there, you can see the riding on the pavement. Young kids, they're growing up in basements. Online, a whole new generation. I'ma make mine, so you better go take it. Always they need a new replacement. Decentralized, can't contain it. We're changing lives, yeah, upgrading. Call it suicide of the older generation. What keeps you up at night, yeah? Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had